Well, of course, that's what we're seeing now. The price of oil way below the target of the government to fund the budget. So non-oil exports also had that 24% increase for the first quarter. Should we celebrate or not? Or we shouldn't let down our guards, But let's look at the smaller businesses now, talking about driving business growth and look at digital innovation, which seems to be on the lip of a lot of people. Now we have to discuss that right here in the studio. Wilson Dike, he's a sales director and joins us here. You're welcome to the program, Wilson.
Thanks, Denise, for having me.
Great. So sales is your business. And everything we do, at the end of the day, you want to sell a service, you want to sell products.
Absolutely.
You want to sell your skills, your talent, all of that is at the top of it. And now we have, yesterday about this time, we're discussing AI adoption, digital innovation. That's it. What's different now in sales, looking at today's trend and adoption of digital innovation and AI and all of that?
Well, what's different is that prior to now, we didn't have this huge influx of technology and AI. We had traditional ways of selling, which was typically door-to-door, right? But with AI and the improvement of technology, we've seen technology and sales go beyond door-to-door, but having virtual communications and virtual conversations, and even selling products without even leaving your offices or leaving your rooms or houses, as the case may be, with the influx and the advancement of technologies. This is something that was different from the past. We see instances where we have to go door-to-door, street-to-street, try to sell into brick and mortar, like going physically to buildings, and this is something that has been diminished by the use of technology and AI. With AI, you also get to tailor and personalize people's sales journey or customer journey, so you get to understand what they want and how you can provide the service that will suit their needs, as against where you create a one-size-fits-all strategy where you just hope that it sticks when you throw it on the wall in terms of selling. So
yeah, so now I guess you work more with data, so you anticipate the outcome before you start the journey because you have the data to guide you.
Absolutely. With data-driven insights, you can understand the concerns of what customers are looking into, what they want to buy based off of their internet or use of social media and platforms. You have an idea of what is of interest to them, and you can position products that will be of relevance to them. And once they see that you have positioned a product to them, then it will give them the trigger to go ahead and make a purchase or make an inquiry, which is the start of the buyer journey.
But all of this, of course, has its own costs, yeah? Yes. And for startups and small businesses, it adds to their capital requirement and all of that. How do they manipulate this?
Well, for startups, what I would say is to be creative and be lean. Because, when you're startups, most of your investments is being bootstrapped from your pockets. So it's imperative that you make sure that you are not going overboard, leveraging on all the amenities and the established organizations that are not competing in what you're doing in terms of services. A case in point could be that a startup would want to leverage upon a huge payment platform, because we see that there's a payment platform here in Nigeria that caters to half of the payment process of Nigeria's transactions. So having connections or collaboration with such platform has solved the problem for you, because you already have a reliable platform in terms of payment, which would expose you to different markets that you would ordinarily not have because we don't have the financial wherewithal to deal with. It also exposes you to marketing channels that would be available to you. So it's imperative for startups to be creative and be lean. So it's better for you to go smart than to go fast. So I think local content, deal with them, focus on them, and try to use that opportunity to leverage and expand as you move.
Yeah, that sounds like a strategy, yeah?
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah.
But what sectors do you see this working? I know you've been involved in, helping startups grow, fintechs and all of that. What sectors are the most sellable at this time, especially when you want to apply such strategies?
Okay, for sectors, we're looking at some three key sectors. I also like to touch on one traditional sector. So the key three sectors are the fintech, education, and healthcare, because this is where there's been a demand pool, especially from cloud computing platforms. We've seen that we are delicately poised in Africa to hit a $20 billion mark for cloud computing platforms. And this is spurred by demands from healthcare, demand from fintech, and demands from the e-commerce platform. So what we're seeing here is very important that we leverage on that. And the traditional platforms or traditional businesses like the agri-businesses, we are seeing more demand for drones. We are seeing more demand for IoT sensors, and we're seeing more demand for blockchain platforms, to expand their market and of course to boost their revenue and boost their yields. So these are the platforms that are, could use the strategy to expand, to penetrate, and of course stay consistent and lean. These are the key ones, but I also want to emphasize that with technology and the influx of technology, you could use these strategies in any ecosystem whatsoever, because AI is going into every single thing. So with AI and with data-driven insights, you can leverage on this to expand and reach more audience.
But with all of this, competition is stiffer, for everyone. So you need to guard your customers jealously.
Absolutely.
What are some of those areas you can use in customer management?
Well, the best thing is, have a strong customer relationship. You have to be as honest as possible. You have to build that relationship and instill trust in them. Now, how would you do that? Is by ensuring that you understand the customers and do not sell bells and whistles of your products, but have a deep understanding of what the customers actually want. So when I do sell, I sell to different sectors, different ecosystems, but we have an underlying similarity, an underlying backbone, and which is to understand value and deliver this value to the customers. So the first thing is have a deep insight. With that deep insight of the problems, the objectives that the business wants to achieve, the next thing is to go ahead and create a bespoke solution that addresses that need. Okay, so when you have that, customers tend to be happier. The next thing will be then again to have good relationships. You can create that relationship and build trust, because African businesses are very huge on trust. And by doing so, you have to ensure that what you have presented in your demos, your proof of concept, you deliver. And even after sales, post-sales, ensure that you do have a robust after-sales service. So that way you are creating that long-term relationship. You are ensuring that you understood the value and ensure you are putting on products that will help them achieve what they want to achieve.
Yeah, so what I hear you say is build a relationship, with customers beyond the surface of the business. That's demanding.
Yes, that's demanding, but as a salesperson, you need to build relationships. It's a key thing. It's one of the strengths of a salesperson. You need, because, the difference between your product and the other products might be, few and far between. But what stands a chance for you to get a foot in the door would be your relationship and your relationship building skills. You need to understand their pain points. You don't need to be so quick in wanting to sell. You need to have that understanding of what they want and how they want to achieve. You also have to have a good stakeholder map to understand who are the people in the stakeholder ecosystem that will have touch points that may influence or put a spanner in the works for you trying to get a sale or trying to get value. Because in the end of it all, you're trying to put value into this. You need to ensure that everybody, the stakeholders that will be interested or will be a party to the growth or the use of that platform, are well aware of the value that your product is bringing to them and how it can get revenue for them or ROI for them. So case in point, how it's going to generate more revenue for them and how it's going to cut costs for them in a nutshell.
Yeah, because I also wanted to say this, because these days we talk a whole lot about strategic partnerships.
Yes.
So it's not just about with your customers, but also down your value chain.
Yeah,
you need to build partnerships with your raw material provider, your end user, your own end user, which may become a raw material. So it's that's why I say it's stressful. It's very demanding keeping all of these relationships.
It's very demanding, but what we need to understand and what we need to bear in mind when we are going through this journey of still driving innovation into businesses, to sectors, is what you want to achieve at the end of it all. So which is the value you want to get in. I'll give you an instance. There was a large payment platform in Africa that had to partner with a financial institution and with telcos, large telcos in Africa, just to expand reach. And then they were able to get into untapped market that they didn't or wouldn't have had the access to get onto, and they were able to get a far reach. So if we bring that down to startups that are trying to drive innovations to business, you can also leverage on, for instance, if you're an e-commerce business, you can leverage with logistics companies that have sorted last mile delivery already in Africa or in Nigeria, and to help you to push your products to the last mile. All right. So this is one instance. You can also, if you are a product or e-commerce business that wants to get onto payments, like I said, you can leverage on the largest fintech payment provider in Africa, which will make you seem reliable, which will help you get access to marketing channels and distribution. So these are the things that you need to painstakingly do, because of course it's a very competitive ecosystem. There are a lot of fintechs, but you just have to think outside the box and make sure that what you're selling, you are also getting a personal touch to it in terms of creating different experiences as you navigate from customer to customer. That is what will make you stand out. That will make you unique in what you're trying to do.
Oh, so marketing, I mean, marketing is not the same it used to be. It has a different face now. What advice would you give to people who would say, oh, I don't know if they still study marketing in schools.
Yes.
Who would say, "Oh, I love marketing and all that." It's a different ball game now. And you need tips like this to survive.
Well, for marketing, it wasn't spared with the AI. Or AI avalanche, I would like to say. And I'd reckon that you use as much as possible many marketing tools. There are many digital marketing tools that will help you understand marketing journeys, help you to calibrate online real time to understand if the campaigns that you're running are of relevance and how to tweak them. With marketing tools, and what I did in the past is that we adopted marketing strategies working in a particular region and lifted it and put it in that region based off of performances. And because of AI and technology, you can on the spot understand, or within a few days understand, if a marketing strategy is working, and you can find ways to tweak them, as against waiting till the end of a quarter or the end of a campaign to say, oh, well, this marketing campaign wasn't really it in the first place. And that would have been your money's lost, time's lost. So this is something that you can leverage on to ensure that you get the marketing, the best returns on your marketing budget and marketing strategies.
All right, thank you so much. Sounds interesting, even though I don't think it's my thing. But
oh, yeah.
Wilson, DK Sales Director, thank you so much for the tips this afternoon.
Thank you for having me, Nini. It was nice speaking with you.
Same here. Yeah.